Hey guys, it's Nathan again. This is another sort of outreach automation video. I guess sort of following on from our previous from the previous video that I put out, which had like a really good response. I got a lot of people inquiring about setting up sort of similar automations and doing things like this for their own clients. And this is something that I've spent the past week building. For someone who actually reached out via the YouTube video, quite an interesting guy. So I'm just going to walk you through like an automation flow that I've built for him, which yeah is quite an interesting project that I've been working on. So I've enjoyed it. It's taken me a couple of days to build this out and get all of the logic in place. So essentially, what you're looking at is this is the database, which has a list of profiles that we're going to be sending automated outreach to. So this is a LinkedIn sequence. It's also tied in with email, but we're doing the automation via another platform, as he had originally started the campaign for the client. So I haven't tied it in here, but I'll show you another example with email after. So essentially the first step is we're going to send a connection request on LinkedIn. And based on the outcome of that connection request, if they're a connection already, it's going to be filtered, and we're going to update this in the Airtable. If there is second connection, this will be updated as well, and if there's an error, then this will be updated here as well. After then, we're going to go and check if there's been a connection sent. Sorry, if the client has accepted the connection request, and as soon as they've accepted that, we're checking in 30-minute windows. Once the connection request has been accepted, we're going to send a first outreach message and store this within our Airtable base. Now, the very interesting, essentially, this is just a 8-stage outreach over LinkedIn. But the most interesting thing is because we're doing this over sort of multiple accounts, there's 8 different accounts. We needed a way for him to manage this without needing to log into the LinkedIn accounts every time to respond to the messages. So they are using Pipedrive as a CRM. So what I have built here is as soon as we send the first connection request, this is going to be added as a deal within Pipeline in the first stage of the funnel that a connection request has been sent. And we are constantly checking here, we're checking the message history with that particular prospect. And whenever a prospect responds to a message, this is automatically synced over to Pipedrive. And I also store it in Airtable just because this is the database that I'm working from. So this is sent over to Pipedrive as a note, so they can see the entire LinkedIn conversation without ever having to log into the account. And the even more interesting thing about the sequence is they can send automated responses from Pipedrive by simply, whenever they add a note in Pipedrive to that particular prospect, I then capture this and we send whatever is written in the note. That particular piece of content is returned out as a LinkedIn message. So they don't ever need to actually access LinkedIn to respond to individual messages. And so this is just a way to like sync everything from a CRM. So obviously we're using it in this particular fashion just for responding to messages. But let's say you had a huge a database of leads within your CRM. You could build out an automation. So whenever you add a note on that particular person, we're automatically going to go and send that as a message to the prospect within LinkedIn. So this is just really, it's really like interesting automation. And I've got another sequence. Like I said, that's for a client, and this is something that I'm using personally. We're following a similar flow. Sorry, it's a bit messy. Integromat doesn't. Once you build out quite a large sequence, Integromat doesn't have very good formatting for design. So yeah, essentially we're following the same initial steps. We're sending an automated connection request on LinkedIn, and then we send a follow-up email the next day. The email address is received via their LinkedIn profile. Then once the email has been sent, the next day we send another message on LinkedIn, and essentially this is just a sequence. So it goes send via Gmail, send follow-up message on LinkedIn, And as soon as we receive a response, it stops sending the connection, the follow-up sequence. Or if they unsubscribe from email as well, it will stop sending emails and also stop following up on LinkedIn. Also, on the initial stage, we go and follow them on Twitter, and we like their most free recent posts on Twitter. We also follow on other social media platforms and like their free most recent posts. So whatever data we have on this person, we're reaching out across multiple platforms. And is this another automation that I built? Yes. If we don't have the personal LinkedIn profile of the lead, but we have the company that they work for on LinkedIn, we automatically go through and we scrape anyone who works at the company who matches founder or marketer or growth or CEO in their job title. So if we're unable to find a LinkedIn through like doing Google searches, then we automatically pull this data off employees who are working at the company. Then it updates Airtable, and then they will be enrolled into this sequence. So yeah, this is like previously I was showing like the sort of enrichment side of things and sort of gathering the data. I've also changed up the flow of this, which I will upload a separate video about. But yeah, essentially now, there are two stages to the outreach. So get sourcing and outreach. So I just showed you the outreach stage, and here is sourcing, where we're getting all of the details. I've sort of simplified this step so that there are less stages in the sequence, which saves on my Integromat bill. And seeing as we're doing this at scale, we're enriching like maybe 250 million websites. Obviously, it's good to take out steps of the sequence as the prices do add up. So yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas on things that you can do with automation. As always, if you have any questions, if you're interested in doing sort of funnels like this, feel free to reach out. And yeah, I'm always interested to talk to people about sort of growth and marketing. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, or obviously there's a link to my business notifier, so we can talk on live chat on Intercom there. So I was getting a lot of people requesting how to reach out. So yeah, the best way is via the notifier website. And yeah, so this has been quite an interesting project that I've been working on over the past couple of days, and really sort of building out the segmenting, so checking if LinkedIn messages have been responded to and then filtering from there. Another thing that I'm looking to add into this sequence at the moment is personalization. So we're going to be doing sort of lookups based on the user's profile and what they respond to. If they respond to very like direct and to the point messaging, or maybe they prefer a lot more sort of information explaining products. So we're adding this personalization within the outreach strategy, and it will automatically send a message that that we have sort of written. Like we'll write like 5 different templates based on personality profiles, and that will be the message that gets sent out to the lead, as it's the most likely like sort of style to engage the lead. So yeah, I hope this has been quite interesting. I've got a few other like videos coming out in terms of enrichment and other things that we're doing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions, just leave them in the comments.